Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I connect Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. Hi everybody, welcome to our weekly broadcast. I am Sami, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a wonderful long weekend so far. We're going to get started. We're going to talk about the market. I'm going to go over my list of swing ideas that I have lined up for tomorrow. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. If you're new to our channel, please be sure to download the free ebook. Link for that is in the description. But without further ado, let's turn to the charts and get started. If you find benefit, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or email us, info@t3live.com. So here we go, the market. We have a pullback right here and then boom, really bullish. Now we are quite extended, very far from the 20, but not only very far from the 20, we're starting to go vertical almost. So that's the issue with the market. Otherwise, the market is just all out bullish, all-time high. How could I say anything but all out bullish? But again, the fact that we're this extended tells me that the moment we take out a prior bars low, especially on the SPY, because I don't think we've taken out a prior bars low all the way from here, all the way to the top. So if we take out Thursday's low, then I think we're probably going to be pulling back. So that's what I think. Very bullish, but also extended. So watch out for a pullback in the market. But very bullish. In terms of the swing ideas, here's what I got. This AQN is kind of weird. To tell you the truth, I don't like the way I traded it. I bought it right here. It shot up, and then I raised the stop to here, and it was premature. And it popped just 2 days later. Or the very next day after I got shaken out, I got out here, and then the very next day it skyrocketed, and now it's back down. So I have a choice to make. I can get back in it right here. Stop right here, 20-cent stop. And the reason why I like it is because it looks good on the daily, bullish. It has a pullback on the weekly and potentially transitioning on the monthly chart. So interesting on the AQN. I'm not 100% sure, but just an idea. BCE looks lovely, but it's a big stop. Trying to transition on the daily chart, so over the base. Okay. This is not a straight line at all. So maybe this would be more of a straight line. There you go. Stop right here. So it looks good, but it's a really big stop. Otherwise, I like it a lot. That's the weekly chart, and here's the monthly. Has plenty of room on the monthly chart to about 27 or so on the BCE. GNW might be my favorite. I know it's a financial. I think it's an insurance stock, and those, like who likes to play insurance? Nobody. But here it is, long over 801, stop under this bar's low. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the weekly. Let's check out the monthly. Looks great. That looks really good. So I like the GNW higher for this week. IBIT is Bitcoin and it's been basing. I like it. There's two ways to do it. One would be to wait for the all-time high to get taken out, which would be up here. Okay, stop right here, or just over last week's high. Now, if one does it, if one enters above last week's high, you would still be entering into the prior high. You wouldn't be clearing it, but you'd get a tighter stop. So either over 63 by 59.80 or over 63.70 by 59.80 on the IBIT. Now, if you think IBIT is bullish or Bitcoin is bullish, maybe it's time for the XRP to get going. This is the leveraged XRP. XRP is already wild enough, and now you got the leveraged ETF. So it does look very sloppy, very jumpy, and that's why one would have to use a really large stop. So maybe long and stop all the way down here. Target the prior high. I know it's a big target, but this stock, it's not a stock, it's an ETF, moves a lot. So we talked about the AQN, BCE, GNW, IBIT, and I skipped to the XXRP, which is Ripple XRP. LYFT is LYFT, and it's starting to lift. I mean, it's starting to look higher on the daily. That's the weekly. And here's the monthly. It's looking interesting. It's not perfect, but it looks kind of interesting. Unfortunately, it really is not perfect. Long and tight stop, wide stop. Wide stop if you're looking for a long-term play. Tight stop if you're looking for a 2 to 10 day swing. So if you're a swing trade, I would use the tight stop. Long-term trade, big stop. MDLZ, I talked about it in last week's video. It didn't really go anywhere, but it's gotten better, if anything. Look at the weekly chart on this. It's been basing for how many weeks in a row? How many months in a row, right? Since March through June. So 3+ months in a row. And it does look higher. It's just a little bit sloppy. A little bit sloppy. The tighter entry or the tighter stop would be long stop right here. Okay? Wider would be to place the stop under the pivot. That's the MDLZ. And then Moderna. Who wants to play the Moderna long? Maybe it's time for this thing to start moving up. The weekly isn't amazing because the 20 is still going through the price. I like it when the 20 period moving average, that blue line, is underpriced, like so. So it's going through it, but at least it's flattened out a bit, quite a bit, and it's starting to go sideways, which is indicative of lack of momentum to the downside. And the monthly has plenty of room to move up to here, basically. And look at the Moderna, one of the most fascinating stocks during the pandemic, right? Goes from $15 or so to 500, 497, and back down. So is it time for it to move up? I think it is. I did try it, I believe, twice, and it wouldn't work, and I ended up trailing out of it. And now I feel I wish I didn't trail out of it because it looks higher again. It's not a tight stop. The stop would have to go under 25 or so. So it's a big stop, more longer term play than shorter term play. The QXO, long stop. Not my favorite. I played it, I think, last year. I don't think I played it this year. I believe I probably played it here on that breakout. Doesn't look very much, but I know I played it. But no, it hasn't. It's been a while. It looks a little bit higher. We have an unfilled gap above, so maybe just to here on the QXO. The VSTS, been in a long-term downtrend, tries to break down, and then it fails. You see this? That's a breakdown failure. Now we just want to see it break out by taking out the top of the base. So long, and then stop right here. And then maybe target up here, $8. So possible longer-term play. We can look at the weekly. I always look at the weekly and the monthly. But what I show you here is one chart at a time because otherwise it gets too much. So maybe to $8 on the weekly, and then the monthly has plenty of room on the VSTS. And XXRP we talked about already. The short, I only have 3 watch items for tomorrow. The insurance stock, CNC, which was highly profitable the day of the gap because I actually bought it, shorted it, and held on all the way down. I don't know if I held it to the lowest, but to here. I mean, that might have been the low, that might have not been the low. Maybe it ended up taking it out. Yeah, probably took it out at the end of the day, but I mean, that was amazing. And I remember being oversized in this position, which made me be laser focused on it that day. And so I kept asking the room members, anybody has any questions, just let me know, because I'm focused on the stock, on this one stock. So if something else comes up, let me know. But I couldn't take my eyes off of it because I just got oversized, partly intentionally, partly not. I got it off like the 2 minute or something like this, and then I decided to add to it under the 5 when it broke under the 5. So so I got it on I believe I got it under this doji bar on the 1. Is that right? I'm not sure. And then I got back in it, or I added to it under the 5. It's been a while. It feels like it's been 2 weeks. And so I ended up being really oversized in it. So it was hard to manage, but luckily it didn't do anything wrong. And it just, once it took out the last bar's high, it trailed. So now we see that it didn't even bounce at all. So the longer it bases, the better it becomes, because then the 20 MA, because then it loses the extension. It loses the it loses its oversoldness. It's it'll be no longer oversold, and then off the 20. That's how I'm looking to do it. But if you think it's not going to wait, because it doesn't look like it's going to wait, then short, stop. Again, short under Thursday's low, stop above it. ELV is another insurance stock. This one is a bit more spready, so it's harder to do, and then it didn't base. So, but it's a much smaller gap, and so it probably has more to go. So, but that's the issue. It didn't base. It's got routinely has like $1 spread. So I didn't do it on the day of the gap, even though I really, really liked it. It was just too spready, but I'll take a look at it tomorrow. And then GME, your favorite stock. I'm kidding. I'm just joking around, but it is a lot of people's favorite stock, or it used to be. It actually looks slower. It actually looks good under 23.46, stop over 24.50. The only problem with it, this is lovely. The only problem is it has a cult following, number one. Number two, I think it's on the 20 on the weekly or the monthly. No, the weekly looks good. The monthly is right at that 20 MA, which I don't like to short at the 20. That's where normally stocks get bought. So over here got bought, over here got bought. So, but the daily and the weekly look really, really good, especially the daily chart. So I'm a little bit unsure whether to go for it or not. Look at the massive breakout failure right here. Now you might say, well, what is that? How is that a breakout failure? Here's how it's a breakout failure. It based, broke out, immediately got hit hard, based, and then broke down. That's a breakout failure. That's just basically a breakout failure. So it is a very bearish looking stock, but it does have a cult following, and then it's right at the rising 20 on the weekly. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's short and sweet, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one. Best of luck with your trading this week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.